Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 22, verses 24 to 25. Do not associate with a man given to anger, or go with a hot-tempered man, or you will learn his ways and find a snare for yourself. The old adage comes into play here, one we see throughout Scripture, especially Proverbs, and it's simply this: choose your friends carefully. It's from our friends that we receive input and examples as to how we live our lives. What things should we seek to avoid in choosing our companions or our friends, the people we hang with and talk with and spend our free time with, the people we choose to be with? What things should we seek to avoid when we're doing that? Well, we're given just one thing to watch out for in this verse, but it's very important. A person given to or noted for or who is characterized by anger or a hot temper. One who is easily angered. One who loses control when they're angered. Proverbs has a lot to say about anger, and very little of it, if any, is good. Anger is easy to get swept up into. It's not hard to stir up people to get angry. It's very close to the surface of most of us. Anger and selfishness are companions, and since we are all by nature selfish, anger is always close to the surface in our lives. Some control it or mask it better than others, but it's right there. And so the last thing we need is to be around someone who's characterized by anger. It's hard enough to control when we are by ourselves, let alone in the company of those given to anger. And that's what the next verse implies, lest you learn his ways. Learn how he thinks, how he reasons. Hear what's going on in his heart. And it starts to make sense to you. And you see how he treats others who differ from him. And if we're not careful, we will learn his ways. And if we don't, he probably won't want us around. Sort of go along or get lost. It's amazing how fast anger can spread. But we are not responsible for another person's anger. If we are drawn into unjust anger because of our company with an angry person, God holds us responsible. We make our choices, and our choices make us. And we learn his ways, and we find a snare for ourselves. Angry people seldom see the snares and the traps that line the road they've chosen. The way of a hot-tempered person is hard. It's hard in their marriage, it's hard on their family, it's hard on their job. And if you learn his ways, you will reap the same consequences. So be careful, be wise. If you're on a diet, it's probably not a good idea to hang around a glutton. If you're lazy, it's probably not a good idea to hang out with a lazy person. Choose your friends carefully and wisely. And the other side of this is quite simple. What attitudes do people learn from being with me? Is it good or is it harmful? Am I a positive influence in the lives of others or a negative one? There are no shortage of bad examples in our world today. May we seek not to be in that group, but to speak and live in such a way that we extol kindness and self-control and patience and long-suffering. Moms and dads, what do our kids learn from being with us? Simple yet profound principle, and yet one we need to take heed to, especially in these volatile days we're living in. Everyone seems like they're angry about something. And if you are not angry, people think there's something wrong with you. So remember, in spite of what our culture may say, or even our friends, Proverbs warns us, do not associate with a man given to anger, or go with a hot-tempered person. You will learn his ways and find a snare for yourself. Proverbs doesn't say there's a chance you will learn them. He says you will learn them. But I think the point is there's much better and safer things to learn than how to be a hothead. So let me ask a question as we wrap it up. What have you learned lately? May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.